What's good, guys? We're back. It's Vilify here. Recently, Dokkan decided to add some missions to the Cell Max fight. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that I don't like playing the Cell Max fight. Not because it's too hard, not because I can't do it, it's just I feel that the last phase of Cell Max is just way too unfair with how they kind of play things, right? And especially when the mission we're looking at today, the no item run, is kind of like you have to just take the lock. It's like Cell's like, all right, I'm locking the unit that you need to be in a certain spot, and there's nothing you can do about it. It just makes things really, really tough to kind of work around, right? But nonetheless, this video is here so we can finally talk about how I managed to get done the no item run for this specific mission in the Cell Max fight. So this one was a doozy. I always kind of like to go by the philosophy that if it takes me a lot of tries to do something, it's probably too hard. And I would say that would be the same for most of the content creators in this game, especially ones with super duped out boxes and stuff like that. If something takes, you know, say someone like Masked Ningen or The Truth more than 20 to 30 tries to do with no items with all the rainbows that they have, I would say that it's too hard, right? Now, this is not just a killer team with dupes and rainbows all over the place. As a matter of fact, most of the units on this team I'm pretty sure are 55%. But nonetheless, you find yourself in this little bit of a conundrum where offense, it's tough to find these damage dealers that do a lot of damage. Now, the easy fix to this situation is just to be like, oh, get the gammas. And I tried 350 stones, not one featured unit, so we're suffering from that, but this is a more JP-oriented team anyway, so we kind of are able to work around these things anyway. With the Gamma 1 not being on global yet, we're able to use him. But if a global player is seeing this closer to the, like when Gamma 1 and 2 come out, you'll be able to have him as a friend support as well. But the Kid Goku and Android 8 rotation you will not have access to. But this is not a guide, this is just a showcase. One of the most intense battles, if not the most intense Dokkan battle I have ever had. I say Dokkan battle, not pun intended, but when in terms of fights, this one was an absolute doozy. Cell Max had me in the gauntlet for this entire fight. It was super, super tricky to beat. But 50 to 60 tries later, here we are. I finally have the video for you guys, and we finally have it on camera of me beating it. So you guys are watching the beginning phase of this in 2x speed, as this, I think we're in the last phase of Cell Max for like 6 turns, right? And if you guys know anything about Cell Max, you can see how that could be an issue, right? Yeah, so we go from turn 8 to turn 12 or 13 just in the last phase overall. So this one is quick. We got this wrapped up. Let's go ahead and move into the Cell Max portion.
Fight!
All right, so now that we're over here on the Cell Max thing, this is where things get interesting. I have to try and be as direct as possible. This is all RNG. There is a lot of things out of my control. There are a lot of things Cell Max does that just makes it not fair overall. But we're going to try and tackle this and get into it as the most analytical way as possible. So there are like 2 units on this team that can take the super from Cell Max. One of them being God Goku, the other one being Android 8. If you guys don't know, after turn 5, Android 8 gets an additional 30% damage reduction in turn with the damage reduction support that Kid Goku gives the team when he gets 7 orbs. So the entire focus of the Kid Goku rotation is to ensure that Kid Goku gets 7 orbs. You're going to see at one point during the video I cut because I cannot get that 7th orb, and it is just so important to make sure that Kid Goku gets that damage reduction support for the rest of the team. Another thing that is very essential in here is the lock that you guys, I'm surely know that Cell Max does at this point. That is why Cell Max is a bad bar to evaluate if a unit is endgame ready, if a unit is the best in the game. I'd say when it comes to looking at a unit in a positive light, I'd say the Cell Max event is amazing. But I would say if you want to be critical of a unit, using Cell Max as an argument is not really as valid as you would like it to be. Because he just does too much to your units and can take a unit out of its comfort zone to the point where it's almost impossible to get around it, right? So here you guys see Android 8 with tight disadvantage taking double digits from normal. And then here is the really good bar. Like again, this is in the case of a positive. 93k at 55% from a Cell Max Super. That's like the hardest hitting boss in the game, right? Dokkan decided they wanted to do the feeling of despair and hopelessness that Cell Max emits, and in turn, they make it impossible, right? Like, what makes this so dumb is that basically every time you play Cell Max, you're going for a no item run, right? because you're not bringing a Senzu Bean to bail you out with the HP. You're bringing a Senzu Bean to take the lock away. And that's essentially like not even an item, right? Because when you think of like a Extreme Super Battle Road, where you have the 4 items at your disposal in total 8 item usages, right? You're getting that additional damage reduction. You're taking away attacks with the Ghost Usher. You're doing stuff like that. And this Senzu Bean, most of the time you have full HP and you're just trying to move the lock that Cell Max can just counter anyway because his super's taking your whole HP bar anyway, right? Like Gamma 1, he cannot take a super from Cell Max, right? And to my knowledge, he just can't. And this is a Rainbow 1 with a super, and he's good with the normals. Like, that's really good that he can just take normals and be self-sufficient in here and do a lot of damage. Like, he just did 7 million with the crit right there. But, again, it doesn't do us any justice when they can't take the supers and they're taking 550 to 600k from a super and you're just dead. So, one thing that's not even a misplay by you, right? Like, right here, this was the only play I had, was the Blue Boys in the second slot. Now, the Blue Boys are probably the worst defensive unit on this team, which is insane to say, but it's true, right? Like, Carnival Goku, guard. Gamma 1, damage reduction. Android 8, damage reduction. Kid Goku, damage reduction, right? Piccolo, damage reduction, guard. Blue Boys, dodge chance, right? They're just ooga booga high stats still. And this isn't to say the Blue Boys are bad. Obviously, they are like the big damage dealer on this team, but it's the fact that, you know, denullification is their only real utility, and here's where things get tricky, right? And the dodge chance is just so not reliable, right? Like, I like UI Goku at 70%, but I don't like him in Cell Max, right? And I don't think most people do. Because if he takes a normal, it's like 300k plus. I think it's like 500k if he takes a normal. But again, that 70% chance is still better than whatever the gods are getting with the Rainbow Orbs, right? But the counter to that is the fact that you can nullify the attack. So the way the RNG played in this situation was the fact that the Blue Boys did not have to take a hit. All they had to do was just nullify that attack, and then we were good. And then we were in a situation right here where, again, things could get tricky because I have to make sure we do the orbs right. And this is also where I have to quit app real quick just to make sure that, because I was like, oh, I can't get 7 orbs? All right, hold on. Let me quit out of the app real quick, right? I was like, 6 orbs? No, we can't do that. And so I just quickly cut, and we just have to move on from there, right? Like, I can't understate the importance of making sure that you get those 7 orbs with Kid Goku. It is an absolute must because Android 8 goes from taking 80k per normal to double digits, right? And that double digits on these normals is huge. So what I do is I go for the physical orb right there, and then we get 8 orbs with 3 rainbows. So now Kid Goku's at his max. And then we've got Piccolo doing his thing with the additional damage reduction that he gets from Kid Goku's support. Kid Goku's support is so important. And you guys can see we're on turn 11. We're almost done, right? We're coming up on the end of the fight. But it just gets so sketchy, right? Because right here, it's like, I'm not feeling great with where we're at. So right there, he takes 91k. And that's amazing, by the way. At tight disadvantage, taking 91k from a Cell Max Super. Like, this Android 8, I would say, is one of, if not the best banner units in the game. Just defensively with Kid Goku, he is unstoppable. As a tank, it doesn't get any better than 90k from a Super from Cell Max. Like, think about it. God Goku, from a movie boss enemy, taking 300k from a Super nearly, and Android 8 is taking 90k, tight disadvantage, right? So this is where things start to get really, like, sweaty. I'm just praying at this point, right? Like, when we do this turn, my hands are in the prayer sign, right? I'm like, just please, because, like, you can see, what am I supposed to do? Look at all the attacks on the Blue Boys. It's like, this is where Cell Max is just unfair. There's nothing I can do. Like, it's just, you have to play it out and risk it for the biscuit, right? It's like, we'll try and heal up with the orbs, and this ends up saving me, by the way. But it's like, we'll just heal up as much as we can with the orbs. If God Goku takes a super, we're dead. Really, the only hope we have is the Blue Boys dodging a super at this point, or just no super at all during the turn. And, you know, at this point, it's really just like, hands up, like, just please have mercy on me, Cell Max. I come to you as a man who has done this over like 50 times in the last 24 hours. No luck. I've gotten him down to like 1% HP like 3 times and died. I'm ready to be done. I need a break from this event. I don't have the gammas yet, so these other missions are going to be near impossible. But 3.8 mil right there, then another super, and it's like, if this crits and I get another super, I'm out, I win, and that's it. And so now we are to the coin flip, and that's where Cell Max, it's just so frustrating. It's so many coin flips, right? Like, look at this HP. And I'm thinking, no. So we get the dodge. We get hit, 125k HP. We just need it. No super right here for Gamma 1 and for Gamma 1. Come on, please. Whew, no super. we did it, right? Now it's all about just making sure that we get through this. No flukes, nothing. Just don't dodge Cell Max and we are out of here and we don't have to come back to this. What I didn't realize at the time, 1 second, let's go ahead and play this out.
Finish him.
Okay, so one thing I didn't realize at the time was that Android 8 didn't heal, so I thought I only had like 4k HP at this point, but I think I would have been fine either way, but there we go. So that is the Cell Max no item run. I would say that's probably my most like sweaty Dokkan fight ever. Just in terms of how many things I needed to go right, how intense it was. It was a lot of fun. But my name's been Vilify. Don't forget to leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you are new. And turn on notifications so you don't miss out when I post Dokkan content like this. I'd love to see you guys again. Have a great day. I'm out.